ever sees me, I'm losing every battle. No one ever sees me, I'm losing every battle. No one ever sees me, I'm losing every battle. Can somebody save me, I'm losing every battle.
Good morning. Good Monday morning, everyone. Good Monday morning to the Momentum crew. Hope everybody had a great weekend. We are so excited to be doing this episode today. This is actually going to be my the last episode for this year because I'm going to be, as most of you know, having surgery this week and will be recuperating through the rest of the year. So I wanted to do this topic to get everybody set up because the new year is coming. And so the question I'm asking is, are you a thermometer or are you a thermostat? Good morning, beautiful Suzanne. I love it. I love the committed action. Suzanne says, listening while I work out, multitasking. I love it. What kind of workout do you do? Are you on elliptical or doing free weights? So the question, let's consider it. Are you a thermostat or are you a thermometer? Good morning, beautiful Brenda Warren. Brenda Warren says she is the thermostat. Good morning, gorgeous Jacqueline. Suzanne says she's both. I love it. So when you think about each of those two things, let me say good morning to Marion. Good morning, beautiful Marion. How are you, gorgeous? When you think about the thermostat, you think about a device that you have where it's typically right in the home, and the thermostat is inside to set the temperature. So hear the operative word. The thermostat sets the temperature. So right now we're in winter. So for those of you who may be, I don't know, parts north and east of where I am, you are probably having, colder weather. So your thermostat, depending on how you like it, and again, because you're the CEO of you get to decide what the temperature is for your business and for your brand. Me, I like to keep mine at about, nice toasty, 72. So what the thermostat does is it sets the temperature. The thermostat is unconcerned about what the temperature is outside of the house. Follow me, Momentum crew. It could be 30 degrees. It could be a bone chilling -10. The house and the thermostat are unbothered, unconcerned. They set the temperature so that no matter what's going on the outside, it has been decided that on the inside of the house, it will be 72 degrees. And so said, so done. The temperature fluctuates outside. Your thermostat is unbothered. Somebody hashtag unbothered. So important that we let this message land today as we move into and start preparing for 2022. You, my love, You get to set the temperature for your business, for your life. You get to decide that it's going to be 72 degrees no matter what. Now, let's consider the thermometer. The thermometer just reads the temperature. It is not in a position of power or control. It just goes with the wind. If it's 30 degrees in the house, it's going to say, hey, it's 30 degrees. If it's 80 degrees in the house, it's going to say, hey, it's 80 degrees. It is not in the director's chair. Shout out to all my actors in the Momentum crew. It is not sitting in the director's chair. It's just telling you. It's sort of like, they used to have those like little news kids like, extra, extra, read all about it. Just telling the news, not causing anything, not doing anything. It's just telling. It is important that we see ourselves move about this earth and act like the thermometer. You get to set the temperature for your life and for your business. Because what that is doing for you is that you're saying, even though it might be 20 degrees outside, nevertheless, in this house, it'll be 72. Even though I, don't have a big email list yet, nevertheless, I am building my business. I am building my brand. I'm going to consistently show up. If you're the thermometer, you let the activities and what's happening in the world direct your life and your business. So you had an event, only 5 people signed up for your webinar. You let that cause you to get into a bad mood, to not send out your next email, to just cross your hands and say, I'm not playing anymore, right? You're letting the outside affect the inside. Let me know if this is landing for you. It is so important that you get this. Do not let the external happenings affect your business, your life, your brand. So you want to be the thermometer. Be the thermometer. Set the course, set the sail, set the direction for your life, for your business. You get to decide. And I've trained on this before, but I'm going to do it again for new people who are here. Decide. I'm going to break it down to the root word. Decide. Root word icide, means death. Homicide, somebody killed somebody. Suicide, somebody killed themselves. Pesticide, somebody killed pests. Herbicide, somebody killed some wheat, right? You get it. Decide means you have killed off any other options. You are decided that you are going to be a, Grammy award-winning singer-songwriter. You are decided that you're going to be an Emmy-nominated actress. You are decided that you are going to be the go-to mentor for women in need. You've decided that you are going to be the coach mentor for helping people to live their best life. It is decided. It is decided. That's the energy. Yes. Thank you for the correction, Suzanne. We are moving beyond nominated to winner. It is decided that you, Suzanne Covey, will be an Emmy winner. Did you guys see, I posted over the weekend, Serena, for those of you who have not had the opportunity to work with her when we do our public speaking program, she is friend to the PBC, and she did a actor's method public speaking. I have her come, every so often to do that for the clients. And she shared where she had, let me see if I can even pull this up, where she had on, I think either it was on her vision board or she created this just as a separate, one-off image. But anyway, she had a picture of her vision for her, she's an actress, comedian, producer, executive producer, all the things. And she decided, right here comes the word. Okay, okay, let me see if I can share my screen. Okay. So let me go to this one. This is what Serena created. So most of you, I'm sure, are familiar with the art and science of visualizing and manifesting and setting intentions. This is analogous to her being the thermostat. So she set the temperature that both her and her partner, her acting partner, Melanie, we're going to have a story in Deadline. So Deadline is a, trade rag for the acting industry. And do you see, she literally created it. So she says, Melanie and Serena Jindal star in, and she put Amazon or TBS comedy Serena and Mel, an original series. She put the date November, that looks like November 4th or 9th, 2019. And she actually went on to write, what she thought the story would say. Serena Jindal and Melanie, real life best friends, star in the original comedy series Serena and Mel. The hilarious duo represent a South Asian audience that has never before had two female leads in a show. They're both producers and creators of the show as well. This is from 2019 that she created this. This was from this weekend, the actual thing that she decided that she and Mel were going to have a feature story, breaking news in Deadline. So do you see the importance of being the thermostat in your business? If you got what I'm saying, if that just helped you, let me see some ones in the chat, in the comment section. Did you just get what I'm putting down? Are you ready to pick up what I'm putting down? This is not a test, guys. This is for real. Because she, Suzanne's like, yeah. Yes, all the ones, Suzanne, all the ones. Yeah. When you are the thermostat, when you take on, when you embody, when you have the persona of I set the course, I set the temperature, I set the direction, and you are unconcerned, because here's what's going to happen. Do you think that while the house is set, the thermostat is set at 72 degrees, do you think the temperature on the outside isn't, going up and down? Of course it is. But what do we know? The thermostat is unbothered. The thermostat is unconcerned. A set point has been decided, and that is what it shall be. So now that we all get this, I want you to think about, for your 2022, have you done, if you've done any work, meaning you've either attended a paid or a free planning session for 2022 so far, not you doing it on your own, but you've attended somebody else's 2022, put a 7 in the chat. I don't care whose it is, just have you gotten into a space, a container where future planning for 2022 was the topic? Just put a 7 if you have. Okay, so Jacqueline for sure has, because she and I were there together. Anybody else? So guys, lovingly, not okay. Not okay. Because I know you have seen, I mean, I had one on the 5th, the 4th, somebody help me, can't remember. It was free. It was 4 hours of planning. Suzanne, I'm going to email you the replay. Okay, that's right. Marion was with me when I did mine. It is so important that we this is so important. This is not something that becomes wishy-washy or willy-nilly, or we just see what happens. 2022 is coming, and you have the opportunity because we are humans. I was watching a Discovery Channel this weekend. Will Smith was hosting and narrating the series, One Strange Rock. And of course, they were talking about a whole host of different things in life and how life was created on this earth, etc. And that of all the creatures, however many species, that we humans are the only ones gifted with the ability to use our brain for conscious thought, for processing. They showed, I forget what type of monkey it was, but monkeys are certainly more advanced than the rest of the animal species. They were showing that the monkeys knew that they could take a stone and, hit the clams to open it to get, the oysters to get the meat inside. Like their brain is advanced enough that they could figure that out. And so they're shucking their own oysters, right? But I love what Will said. He said, yeah, so while they're, intelligent enough to know, get a stone, shuck your own oyster, they don't have that sort of processing capacity to open a seafood restaurant. Only we humans can do that. So this power that we have, this gift that we have, that was given to us by God Almighty himself, right? We are created and made in his likeness and his image. He is well pleased with us. Of all his creations, he put us humans dominion over the rest of the animal species. Why wouldn't we activate the superpowers he's given us? So I say that because I want to impress upon you the importance of this, is that you have the ability to choose, you have the ability to decide, you have the ability to be the thermometer, and we get to use it. Don't, it's like somebody gave you a gift for your birthday and you just put it in the corner and it's been sitting there for 2 years, 3 years, collecting dust, tossed in the trash on accident. And when we don't use our gifting and our anointing, I've said this before, it's like we are slapping the angels in their face and we're spiting God. The angels who watch out for us, who are assigned to watch out for us. It's like we're like, oh, later for you. Think about it. Oh gosh, what was that quote? It's like, I forget who said it now, but it was this idea of what do you choose to focus on, right? I choose not to focus on fear, but I choose to stay in awe. Something like that. Wonder and awe. Be in wonder and awe that we have the ability to speak. We just take this for granted and not treat it like the miracle that it is. We have the ability to create from our mind. We have the ability, think about it, guys. We have the ability to create and go to space. Be in awe of that. We have the ability to do anything that we want because we have been gifted that right. So before the year ends, please, my loves, if you can get into a planning session, do it. I will send to everyone who in the comment now says, you know what I'll do? If you're on my list, I'm just going to resend it out to the entire list. So if you haven't been seeing any emails from me, that means you're not on my list. Just type in your email. I will add you and I will resend the replay of the planning session. Because if you can't get into one, that because the timing isn't right, at least I'm sending you mine. That Suzanne, you on my list, right? You're getting emails from me. I'm going to send you this. You can do it on your own. You can do it on your own time, but it's so important. So here's what I want us to do in our remaining moments here. So being the thermostat, what are some things that you would want to say? I want to set my temperature in this area of my life to be this. Okay, Brenda, I will double check. I think you're on, but I will double check that for sure. Just because, and the reason I want us to do it right now, obviously you're going to do the planning session, and then you're going to spend time doing it and being in reflection and setting your word, for next year. Like I set my word for next year to be flow, to just be flow. Of course, abundance and all those things come along with it, but flow for me is so important, not to be, high stress, to take care of my health. So for me, flow in my business, flow in my life. I want us to start typing and give some energy to it, because of course, writing it out is always going to be best. When you're in your quiet time, you have your journal. Let me invite you to get a clean piece of paper and do this. And as you're setting your direction for 2022, what it is that you want your year to be for your business, for your brand, just do that bit very intentionally. But right now, let's put some things out. Let's give some energy to some things, because I say this all the time, right? In the Bible, it says, and God said, let there be light. And God said it was good. It could have been, oh, and God thought. Just put it in his mind, because this is a lot of times what we do. We have things in our mind, right? As entrepreneurs, we have a billion things scrolling in our minds. Yes. And so we think that because we've thought about it, that is going to be causation for it to happen. No, my love. It's no different if you said, your teacher was like, where's your term paper? And you're like, you know what? I thought about how I was going to do the outline in it. And I kind of had that doesn't count, that you've outlined the paper in your mind. I need the paper completed in my hand. So it's the same thing. I'm sure we've all had ideas. Oh, that would be a great thing to do. Oh yeah, I want to do some podcasting. It'd be great this year to really build it's wonderful. It has to be on a piece of paper somewhere. So for the time now, we're just going to use the comment section, right? Okay, so let me see here. Let me support Facebook user. I'm not sure who this is. One thing I'm finding is that I set my thermometer really high, and then when big things happen, I retract and then turn it down really low. I need to figure out how to keep it at one temperature regardless of what is happening. That, my love, is not a thermostat. It's you. So here's what I want a correction on. You don't set a thermometer. Your thermometer has just been reading what's going on. Oh, you got a big, massive Dahlia order. You were on a high. The thermometer is reading 99 degrees. You go to Hobby Lobby and nobody buys anything. The thermometer is reading, minus 10 degrees. The thermometer just reads what's happening. So when you are on a high because something great happened, that's wonderful. And then something that unexpected that you didn't want to happen, you let that impact you. And then now you've cooled off. So the thermometer only reads what's going on. It's not in the driver's seat. Your thermostat is set, because if you actually set your thermostat, your energy becomes unbothered energy. Your energy becomes locked in hope, anchored in hope energy. A lot of things that, happen in my business and my agency. I mean, people wouldn't even know whether it's something super good or super bad, because my thermostat is set. My thermostat is set. Scripture tells us that when even things that are happening that are bad, you're like, yeah, it's good, because in my weakness, God's power is illuminated even greater. Paul says, none of these things move me. When he was shipwrecked and he was bitten by the snake and he was beaten, whipped, and in jail, he was like, bring it on, because then I cleave to my God and I feel the power of my God even more impacting my life. So we get to understand the difference between a thermostat that's in your house that you're setting the temperature and it's set. So if you, Lisa, if you set your thermostat to say, I have a growth mindset, I have a growth mindset, right? That's what you set the thermostat reading to be. And you have the massive Dahlia Expo, you were sold out. You went to Hobby Lobby and set up no sales. Your thermostat is still reading growth mindset, right? I tell the story before of when I started my own business and I did my big event at the country club and paid thousands of dollars and only one person bought a package from me. I was in a growth mindset. My thermostat had been set. So that event did not faze me. I said, okay, somebody bought something. Let me see what's good about what they bought. Retool, come back the next year. Instead of $297, the package was $2,500 and 20 people bought it. That's a thermostat. That's a growth mindset. So I hope that helps. Jacqueline says her word is massive expansion. Let's see. Hi all the way. Not left here. Yes, exactly. Because that is what, listen, when we recoil in fear, that's like we're just saying, God, I don't trust you. I don't trust you to get me out of this. So I'm gonna cleave to fear. You know that Katy Perry song where she says, when she calls on the angels and it says, "Oh ye of so little faith." Just remember that. Oh ye of so little faith. We have to really get anchored into faith and believing that even when things look not so great on the outside, be #unbothered. I got you, Lisa. Proactive. Oh, I love that. So Suzanne, okay, let's support Suzanne on proactive. So right now I want to commend you because you're being proactive in this way that you're working out and you're here. You could have said, "Oh, she's on, but you know what? I'll catch the replay. I'm going to do the workout." You're like, it gets to be a both and. This is what we talk about in leadership. It gets to be both and. So I want to salute you for that and proactive. What are some ways that you are going to be proactive for 2022? Let me go turn on this air because you see I'm sweating so much. What are some ways, Suzanne, that you're intending to be proactive? I want to support you. What would proactive look like? And so for everyone, as we're doing this work, when you're saying the things, it needs to be observable. So we're taking things from out of your head into something. So it's a practice. So it's not even just a word, right? Now it's going to be, Suzanne, your way of being. My way of being for 2022 is going to be proactive. I'm going to start a proactive practice. You hear people talk about, my yoga practice. A practice is something that's observable. I can see it with my eyes. Yeah. Okay. Jacqueline says, yes. And when things work out, I say everything is working out for my great, not my understanding. Absolutely. It's already done. This is so, it's just the way we are. Like I said this before, if you get on a flight from New York to LA, that's like minimum, like a 5-hour flight. You can't get on a plane in an hour. You're like, are we there yet? 2 hours. It is known. On a regular jet plane, it takes about 5 hours to get from New York to LA. So what do? You sit in for the ride, you get comfortable, you take out your magazine, you get your food, you get your whatever, you turn on the movie, you get comfortable and be patient on the journey. Enjoy the journey. Be in awe. Be in awe of the fact that you are soaring through the skies at 37,000 feet high. Be in awe of that. Enjoy that moment. Be in wonder of, the men and women who created, flight. Be in awe of that. So I forget, I was talking to somebody and said like they're bored. I'm like, you're bored and you're bored, but yet you're sitting on a rock that's rotating on its axis while it's rotating around a sun that could scorch us within an inch of our life at any minute, and you're bored. Be in awe of that. Stay in awe of that. Good morning, beautiful Nancy. Thank you. Okay, Suzanne says, rather than thinking about all the ideas to film, I'm going to write them, get up early and write. Okay, that's perfect. So I'm going to support you with this. I've said this before on the show. John Maxwell, one of the most prolific authors, was at a conference and he was asked, how is it, I forget how many books he's written, but a lot. How is it that you have written so many books? And his answer was, I write 15 minutes a day every day. And then the person was like, well, like, what about when you're traveling internationally? I write 15 minutes a day every day. But what about when it's like on the holidays and I write 15 minutes a day every day? What about when it's your birthday? 15 minutes a day. What about when it's Hanukkah? 15 minutes a day every day. So, Suzanne, let John Maxwell be your muse. And you can absolutely do 15 minutes a day. So oftentimes we have these ideas and we're only seeing the forest. We're not just looking at the tree, right? You can count the individual trees in a forest, but when you go back and look, it's like, oh my God, this forest is huge. So you're thinking about all of your ideas, all of the shows. It's massive. 15 minutes a day, every day. And he's not editing while he's doing this. Oh, by the way, that's what the editor is there for. So, Suzanne, your way of being for 2022, you're setting the intention now that you're going to embody proactiveness. Are you willing here now in the Momentum Crew in the studio to say how we can observe? Remember, our practice gets to be observable. If I could see into your house, into your office, would I see you writing 15 minutes a day every day? Are you willing to commit to that daily writing process? Okay, great. Yes, this is so important too, Jacqueline. Proactive on my desires, even though I don't feel like it, because commitment is not a what? Those of you who've done leadership, commitment is not a feeling. Commitment is not a feeling. If you gave your word, and again, this is something that we get to clean up. If you are not in integrity with your word, and only you will know this, you and God will know this, where you say you're going to do something and you don't do it, even if the public can't see it. So let's use Suzanne's example. If Suzanne said, you know what, I'm going to write my docu short and have it, in front of an agent. She said she was going to do that and she didn't. Well, the public doesn't know, but she knows. Now, when your brain, again, this most magnificent organ that only we have been gifted with, the brain that has conscious thought, can do visualization, all other things, knows you as a liar. That's what I want you to get from this. You are training your own brain to view you, observe you, treat you as a liar. I'm going to write the docuseries. Never happens. Your brain's keeping the score, like, oh, there she goes again, lying through her teeth. I'm going to work out at 30 minutes every day. I'm on a new health kick. There she goes. The elliptical has not been touched in 6 months. You're training your own brain. So now your brain is working against you, because guess what? When you want to come to your brain and say, I need inspired creative ideas, come to me, bring them. Your brain's like, well, why? Because you don't do anything. So I'm not going to inspire you because you don't do anything you say you're going to do. We get to be in integrity with ourselves. This is one of the reasons why I have worked, and listen, I can coach you on this because this is me. So I am now very careful about overscheduling myself, overcommitting myself, because that was just my way of being, right? Wanting everybody to like me. So yes, I can do it all. I can do it. I can be here. I can do this. I can come on your show. I can. And then when you overcommit and then you don't keep your word, not only do you look crazy in the streets, but your brain is like, there she goes again. Scripture tells us, say yes when you mean yes, and say no when you mean no. It says it's better to not say a word to God than to make a promise to him and break it. This is how serious it is to be in alignment, to be in integrity with your word to yourself, first and foremost. Because if you're not in alignment with yourself, you're for sure not going to be in alignment with other people. Congratulations, Nancy. Woohoo. That's amazing. Well done. Brava, brava. Absolutely. Yeah, let's talk in the new year. I'm having surgery on Wednesday, so I'm going to be recuperating through the end of the year. But yeah, let's for sure talk about building this brand of yours. Yes, that's right. He creates his own inspiration. So this is exactly what I'm talking about with the thermostat. The thermostat creates its own temperature. It says, you know what? I want this room to be 75, right? The thermostat connected to your heating system does what it needs to do, and it becomes 75. So said, so done. It's the thermostat doesn't go, okay, turn the dial to 75. Let's wait and see and hope. You know, hopefully we can get it above 70. We're not really sure. It's time to get a new heating system, right? But when you set it to a temperature, it's like money in the bank if you have a working system. That is what the temperature of the home will read. So yeah, you're absolutely right. He's not waiting, he's creating it. Not waiting, he's not loitering in his life to see how many books he can, create, this year. He has decided that he writes 15 minutes a day, every day, and his books flow like magic. Because I see it complete. Yes, exactly. So we're getting, I was just going to say, we're getting out of freezing. No more freezing. We're going to take small, little intentional steps, like Jacqueline says, bite size. We're just going to do a little at a time. And then we're going to do what? We're going to acknowledge ourselves for doing that, because oftentimes what we do is like, oh, I'm so lazy. I said I was going to write, a whole chapter and I only got to, a page. I'm such a loser. What do I tell you about saying that stuff? You're prophesying against yourself, because the I am is one of the most, powerful phrase you can say. You're basically saying, God, I am a loser, because he is the great I am. That's his name. I am that I am. Yes, absolutely. And I love that Jacqueline says what you focus on expands, right? So who else? So Suzanne publicly in the Momentum studio just said her way of being for 2022 will be proactive. That all the ideas that she's got in her head, which I know Suzanne's not the only one, we all have them, we get to commit them to paper. One of the things I say is, have a separate journal, if I have mine with me, and I just call it the parking lot. And this is a separate journal that I have where I just write down the ideas that come to me, because as the entrepreneur, ideas will come to you. Have a separate journal. When the ideas come to you, start a podcast, write it down. Because what we do is we put it in our brain and hold on to the idea of starting a podcast while we're trying to get our email sequence out, while we're trying to schedule, our shows, whatever it is that you're doing. But if you get the idea and you write it down, what you're saying to your brain is that, okay, great, here, the idea is not lost. We will tend to this. It's sort of like triage, right? But you keep it in a parking lot where, just like when you go shopping and what do? You put your car in a parking lot, you're coming back to get it. So get a separate journal that's just for the parking lot of ideas that you can capture and take it out of your brain. Because what we're trying to do, basically, it's like we're treating our mind like it's a garbage can. We're like storing like a filing storage, right? It's all the things that are in there. And we're trying to do the things that we need to do today, tomorrow, at the same time when we're thinking about future casting other ideas. Don't do that. Get a separate journal for your ideas and as parking lot. Hello, CJ. What goes on? All the way from Motherland. Love it. Okay, so who else? So again, if we could look through Suzanne's window in 2022, we are going to see her in action. We can observe her proactive practice of getting her film ideas and her show ideas on paper. I love that. Jacqueline says she keeps hers at her bed and she writes it down because that's when the subconscious mind is at work. Yep, absolutely. Whatever works, but have a place where you can come back to, and sometimes you can come back to it and you go, you know what, I'm going to push this one further down. I actually want to do this now. So you can absolutely do that, but just take it out of your brain, write it on paper. So Jacqueline, you had said massive expansion. So how do we observe for 2022? How do we observe? Because remember, it gets to be a practice, right? You get to see what's going on. It's not just something that's internal. It's your ways of being that's going to be shifting. How will we observe you in this flow of massive expansion? What is that going to look like? And so for everybody else, again, if you're on, I see so many people on. I want to see your words. I mean, these don't have to be the permanent ones, but we're doing this exercise now. We've got 15 minutes or so left while you have me. This is the last show for 2021. Use me. Use me. Okay, Brenda says, when I can write, I use a speech app. It records and transcribes my thoughts all at once. So yeah, exactly. Whatever you get to do to make it easier, love it. Okay, so having 3 lives scheduled every week. Okay, so that's something that is observable. How many are you doing right now, Jacqueline? Marianne, what's your way of being for 2022? What can we observe? How are you being the thermostat and setting the direction for your life, for your business in 2022? Guys, this is so important. It's so very important. Do not dismiss this as irrelevant. This is the most important thing you get to do before this year ends. Good morning, beautiful Nicole. Nicole says, turning thoughts into tangible items. Give me more on that. Yeah, so that's the whole point of it, right? Like that's how we show up as humans. Like we can create something in our mind and then we literally create it with our hands. So Nicole, give me some idea. So because I can't observe that. I wouldn't know what I'm looking to observe. Yeah. Okay. Brenda says adding lives weekly and changing her podcast format. Okay. Going to record a segment, Minute with Marianne, share it on YouTube. I love it. What's your word? What's your way of being? Marianne, have you decided on that? Do you have something you want to share with me so I can give you any support on that? And a roadmap for all of your ideas. Absolutely. Let's talk in the new year when I'm back, Suzanne. Because and the reason I say that, I mean, obviously Suzanne's already in the brand accelerator, and if you get to know the truth about you, if you are not a self-study, just give me the tools and I'll go, then you get to have mentorship, you get to have support, you get to have one-on-one support. So let's talk about what that might look like. Lisa says, growth and engagement in the community by bringing my branding to the forefront. We're building a barn with a classroom space with her logo as a windmill. We've purchased a 30-foot windmill. Oh my gosh, Lisa. A storefront downtown Maine. that's begging for a product, and she's asked me to sell during the farmers market, which I've been working on since last May. Praise Jesus, all glory to God. Yes, you have. I know that farmers market was like a big deal. Lisa, what is your way of being? What is your how can we observe? What are we looking to observe? Okay, Nicole says I've been so join Suzanne. Suzanne's her word is proactive. I've been procrastinating with my clothing line and have recently started printing. So Nicole, you make your own original prints? So what are we going to observe? So I want you to, Nicole, give me the thing. So again, if I were to like look through your studio window at home, what actions would I see with my eye that I could say, yes, Nicole is in her ways of being proactive and taking inspired action? What would I need to see to be able to basically audit you and say, yep, you gave your word? Because again, this is what we're doing right now. I'm causing you to commit to your word, because as I said, the most important thing is when you get into alignment and in integrity with your word to yourself. So this is why, again, scripture says, say yes when you mean yes and no when you mean no. Oh, are you going to have this done by the weekend? Don't just say yes because you want to people please. But internally, there's like no way it's going to get done. You need at least another 2 weeks. Rather say, no, I need an additional 2 weeks. And if you want to give the reasons why, you're in integrity with yourself, because you're standing and you're speaking the truth. You're not overcommitting. Again, I can coach you on this because that used to be me. Overcommit, want to people please, want to be liked. Yes, I can be everywhere. And then what? Then my health suffers, my self-care suffers, all of it. So that's why for me, moving forward, flow is a huge part for my way of being. No more running around like my hair's on fire, no more hurry, no more stress, because I'm very, very sure that stress was a big part of what, brought on my diabetes, which, oh, by the way, let me just share some good news. So most of you know the surgery I'm having this Wednesday was originally scheduled back in July. And I went in for my pre-op. And when they got my blood work, they called me and said, your surgery's been canceled. And I was like, why? Like, your blood sugar is 300. I thought she said 300. A couple days ago, maybe on Friday, I went in for another pre-op, because you always have to do pre-op labs before you have surgery. My blood sugar originally was 390. I wasn't even fasting. They said, don't fast. I ate breakfast. And when I went to the labs and they took blood, it was 96, people. You talk about committed AF. I was like, this is not my path. This is not my destiny. I am not going to be anybody's diabetes case study. I changed everything about the way I ate. I cut out all processed carb. I've been walking 5.5 miles. A couple times I go 6 miles almost every day, down almost 30 pounds. Inspiration for those of you who are going to be setting intentions around your health. It's all possible, because when my eyesight started to get blurry, like, guys, there was a time like I couldn't see, like it was blurry. But because my thermostat is set, you didn't hear me like coming on Facebook and like doing a whole drama. I'm sure a lot of people didn't even know that. There was a point that I couldn't see clearly, couldn't even drive without glasses. But because I set my thermostat to, I'm so happy and grateful now to God that all is well with me and I'm vibrationally aligned to health, wealth, and abundance, I was unbothered. I was like, just give me the meds, give me the things. What do I need to do? My doctor literally wanted to hug me. She's like, I've never seen a patient turn their numbers around like this in like under 3-4 months. Because I was determined. I'm like, no, this surgery is going to happen. I'm going to move into 2022, brand new. All glory to God. All glory to God. Yes. Thank you. Lisa, absolutely. Yeah. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you. I give all the glory, all the glory to God, because I just, yeah, this is it. And this is exactly why I'm saying this to you, because, there are people who struggle with this. Like, it's, diabetes is a big thing in our country because of, food and all the things that we don't necessarily do and don't treat our bodies as a temple. And I set the thermostat to health. My A1C was like 13.5. When they did my labs on Friday, my A1C was 5.8. That's 1 point short of being normal. Guys, this is what committed AF looks like. This is what turning your thermostat to what you want it to be looks like. Once I was decided, I was determined, I was resolved, that was it. That was it. Even when my eyes were blurry, I didn't go, oh my God, this and fall off. I just was like, nope. I am so happy and grateful now to God. I am vibrationally aligned to health. I set my thermostat. And now, yeah, absolutely, I took my power back. So let's go. Thank you. I just wanted to share that with you guys. So Marianne, you said necessary. Now, how would I observe you being necessary? Give me some things that I can look for. So again, guys, remember, we're doing things that people can observe, because this is where the accountability comes in. Like if I said, yeah, I'm going to have good thoughts, you can't read my mind. You don't know what thoughts I'm having right now. So we want to do things that we fully embody, that when you look at it, you go, oh yes, I can see it all over her. So necessary is not a bad thing. Like, here's how necessary could work for you, Marion, is that's an internal gauge for you, that that you are necessary. You know that the work that you do is necessary. And by that very fact, you show up and let your people find you. What I do is a need, not a want. I am necessary, right? Food is a necessity, right? Warm shelter, necessity. Marian Teachy's work, necessity. So when you get yourself aligned, like health, being able to get health care, to go see your doctor, to do your annual, right? Those things are necessary to maintain good health. And I forget where I mentioned this, but I think of myself, the work that I do with helping develop brands, analogous to that of a doctor. So I embody necessary. What I do is necessary. It's not a nice to have or, it would be cool if you built your brand. It is necessary for you to build a brand so you can stand out, so your people can find you, so that when somebody says your name, they know exactly what it's about. If I were to say ExxonMobil, everybody knows what that is, right? Because the ExxonMobil brand is built. If I say Starbucks, everybody knows what that is. So it's the same thing, that I see myself as so necessary that, I think it was Jacqueline who said it before, even on days when I don't, quote unquote, feel like it, I show up because the people need me. The work that I do is necessary. Every month, 522,000 new businesses are formed. The people who are forming these businesses need me, need my services, need my support, need my mentorship to guide them, to give them a plan and a path, so they're not just spiraling and circling the drain. So, Marian, do you see how necessary can work? It's an internal driver of the way that you show up. So I love that as an internal sort of guidepost. I am that important. The work that I do is that important. Right? My people need me. When I don't show up, they're looking for me, literally. the work that I do is necessary. So I love that for you. Also, let me know what is something that we can do that's observable. Yes, I love this. So guys, we see Momentum Crew. Nicole is committing. So we're talking about being in alignment to your words. So Nicole, if we were to like look through your window, wherever you do your writing, that we can observe Nicole. And I don't even care what you're writing, right? Whether it's for a book or it's for like, the clothing line, whatever, that she's actually doing something. Because one of the things, and again, for those of you, if you're not on my email list, drop your email and I will add you, because I'm going to send the replay of the planning session. It was 4 hours of gold. If you missed it, here you go. Is the idea of creating something that you do at every something in your business, in your brand. If you don't have any everys, this is going to support you. So I love that, Nicole. Yes, Lisa, your Instagram is bougie AF. So Lisa was the one who, she was the only person. So again, let me talk to you about Thermostat, right? So, this year I started doing the branding over brunch workshops monthly, because, with COVID, we can't do the big annual events. And November session was Instagram, where I talked about creating your Instagram posse, etc. Lisa was the only person who paid and showed up. But guess what? It was God divine, because she got all the time for herself. Now I want to show you something. I could have said, I could have been a thermometer. Geez, only one person paid. You know what? Let me refund her money and cancel it. It's not going to be worth it. That's thermometer move. Thermostat move says, I show up every month and serve my people in this workshop. We set it once a month. Come rain, come shine, we're there. As long as somebody is paid, the show goes on. That's thermostat move. You guys get what I'm saying? If I was a thermometer, I would have canceled it, because only one person, it's not going to be worth it. Let me get my Sunday back and chill. So yes, go check out Lisa, Prairie Flower Company. In fact, guys, let's just do a follow thing. I'm feeling inspired to do that. Just drop your Instagram. Everybody drop your Instagram in the comments, and everybody who's here and those of you watching on the replay, drop your Instagram and make sure that you follow every person who's on here, because you know what, when you show up and you participate, these are some of the magical things that can happen. So everybody right now, within the sound of my voice, drop your Instagram, and everybody who's on, if you need to take a screenshot of the comments, whatever it might be, and go follow. Of course, be sure you're following me at Faith A. James. But definitely let's do that. Okay. Let's continue. Brenda says, unapologetically unstoppable. 2 of the Momentum Crew's favorite words, making implementation of what I already know a priority. Love it. So unstoppable as something that's observable, right, would be an example of what I just said. Oh, only one person showed up on the webinar. You just keep the schedule and you keep going, right? You're showing up, you're talking about the topics that are critically important for people who need your services, that you are not making excuses or apologizing for your presence because your presence is, offending somebody else. Didn't matter. You're unapologetically unstoppable, because I love how we're threading all the words together. You know that the work that you do is necessary. It's necessary. People die if you don't show up. It's that necessary. So when you embody that level of confidence and that level of stick-to-itiveness is what's going to serve you so well in 2022. Because here's the thing, and I think it was Marion who said this maybe last week or the week before, that one of the reasons that she doesn't show up, even though she's committed to 2022 doing lives, she wasn't showing up because she was fear of the judgment from people. And I'm sure Marion's not that she's not unique in that. There are a lot of people who do that. And you have to just be decided that you are